is funk. Thoughts deep, boys steeped in the depths that he sunk. Big stress, depressed in the middle of fall. Sky gray, I late in the thick of it all. I wonder, how long can a human survive just staying alive or carrying the rest of the tribe? Waiting for the day to arrive or struggling dies, and I be doing way, way more than getting by. So why? Cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Realize life is so much more than just living a day. Every day I can sit and reflect and breathe and connect to myself and all that I've been given. See, giving up is not an option. So when I'm looking at gray skies, I'll be adopting a new way to deal with a test. Lord, relieve me of stress. The rain be looking like when blessings drop in. And so I got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, here we go. Yeah, let's do this. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord.
Salute and welcome to the podcast. Everybody appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Now, on this channel, we've been talking a lot about modern day women. We've been talking a lot about modern day women and their behavior, temperaments. We also been talking about men, preferably beta males and alpha males and sigma males behavior as well too on this channel. One thing in particular that we've been talking about, that we really been uncovering on this channel, we've been talking about the terms of endearment about dating, okay? Now, I personally did several different podcasts talking about dating. One thing in particular that I've been talking about for the longest is the 50-50 situation, all right? Those of y'all who don't know about the 50-50 situation, let me reiterate it to you, okay? So in the dating market, right, when you first meet a person, should you go Dutch in the relationship? Should you go Dutch when you first meet that person, meaning that you split 50-50 bill? Or is it the man's responsibility to cover the full cost of the dating experience for that woman? Full dating costs, which include the meal, everything that comes with the meal. Some modern day women require men to pay for their valet service if they had to go to a restaurant that have valet services. Some women require men to pay for child care services for somebody to watch their child if they're a single parent. And all these different scenarios as well too. Let's say you normally you go to a restaurant, but you may go to a movie. You may go to either a movie, you may go to a lounge or even a club. And so these type of modern day women, they want you to cover the full expense of the dating experience. Okay. So once again, I had talked about this a lot on my podcast about my perspective on this, and I gave y'all my perspectives on this. I shared with y'all also about the whole notion about what you bring to the table. All right. So today on this podcast, once again, we're going to talk about this. Okay. And the reason why we're going to talk about this is because I came across a clip that a famous football player had shared with us on YouTube. That famous football player is none other than Shannon Sharpe. Now, Shannon Sharpe, he is a retired football player, and now he have his own podcast. Okay, on this podcast, he always bring up a lot of different popular celebrities on there, and he does have a conversation about various topics, whether it's deal with dating, everyday life, but whatever case may be, that's what he do. But on this particular episode of this podcast, he had invited Kirk Franklin onto his show. So the whole entire show was a pretty good show, but there was one particular segment on the show that we're going to talk about today. We're going to review it, and we're going to talk about it. And of course, like I always, I'm going to give you my perspective about it. All right. So without further ado, appreciate everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button as you come in. If you want to watch it in the bushes, salute to you. If you're going to catch the replay of this, salute to you as well too. So without further ado, let's go jump into this conversation. All right, let's hear what Kirk Franklin have to say about the notion about this 50-50 dating situation. All right, so let's go ahead and review this. Okay.
What are your thoughts on 50-50 relationships?
What does that mean? 50-50 relationships.
You pay half, I pay half.
I'm old school.
See, that's me.
I'm old school. I'm gonna pay for everything.
So like right off the back on Shannon, he asked Kirk Franklin how he feel about the whole thing about 50-50 relationships. Okay. Now, Kirk Franklin responded by saying, "What is that?" Now, to be honest with you, I'm going to call cap on Kirk. Kirk Franklin knows good and well what 50-50 means. He done heard it. He been on social media as long as he have. He know what people are talking about when he's talking about 50-50. I believe he just saying that just to be funny, to be honest with you, or to be sarcastic. But let's continue.
But hold on, if you pay for everything, are you expecting old school values in a new school woman? Because that's not how they're wired.
But they can be. I think that every woman would be grateful for a man to step up.
Now he's responding back by saying this. Shannon responded back by saying this. How you feel about it? All right. So let me rewind it back just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. All right. Let's go right here.
I'm old school.
See, that's me.
I'm old school. I'm gonna pay for everything.
So once again, he said he's old school. He's going to pay for everything. Shannon Sharpe agrees with that. Now, here's the problem about this situation. The problem about it is that even though you old school, even though you have traditional values, which is nothing wrong with that, but however, they have to understand that according to principle of life period, there's a such thing as evolution, okay? Meaning that things is not always going to stay the same. Things will always evolve. Things will always go into another level, another plateau. That is how the way it is. That's part of universal law principles and everything. That is how the way it is. What happened is that many of these type of men or people in general, right, whether it's men and women, right, sometimes they get so caught in traditional values where they don't want to let it go. They don't want to lose that traditional value. They feel like that traditional value could be tied in to modern day culture, which that's not true. Let me give y'all an example. Back in the day, right? A man by the name of Henry Ford, right? Henry Ford had designed the first motorized vehicle, okay? It was revolutionary of its kind. The reason why Henry Ford decided to design a vehicle is because he was seeing the need. What do I mean by that? Henry Ford was seeing that the custom traditional means of transportation, which at that time was people riding horses, wasn't efficient enough. The reason why it wasn't efficient because it took a lot of maintenance to take care of horses. Okay. So it took a lot of maintenance to take care of horses. You have to feed them, you have to train them, you have to keep up with different upkeeps with horses. Horses pass away, all these different things and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, people was finding that it was like very cruel for people to ride on horses and treat horses the way you do. Have horses, horseback riding from coast to coast, which was very unreasonable. Even before Henry Ford invented the motorized vehicle, they invented another means of transportation, which is the railroad system. Now, the railroad system was a little bit more efficient for us trying to get to point A and B, but to be honest with you, it had a lot of limitations with the railroad system. So hence, Henry Ford came along. He said, you know what, let me develop another means of transportation. Henry Ford developed the motorized vehicle, what is known as today as cars. Now, Henry Ford and all the other architects, right, they could have just stayed stuck in their ways and just continue to ride horses, right? But they understood that eventually these type of things need to evolve into something greater. The point that I'm making right now is this. Even in relationships, there are certain type of traditional values that you can hold on, and it can be part of your moral compass. There's nothing wrong with that. But however, when you making that an overall generalization for us culture, right, for us the social norm, then that particular traditional value has to evolve. It is going to evolve. It's going to manifest itself into something even greater. Hence the situation what's going on right now. Traditional values in relationship is now becoming more and more obsolete based on their notion about it. Now, once again, I want to reemphasize this to y'all that it's nothing wrong with traditional values as long as it's part of your moral compass. That's what you believe in or part of your worldview. But when you make an overall generalization stated that this is how the way it possibly should be, then no. What happened is that things happen, evolution happened, certain situations happen, which we know right now is known as feminism and all these other type of things happen. And so now it it transformed the ideology of relationships. So they need to understand that you just can't hold on to them type of traditional values at all, period.
But hold on, if you pay for everything, are you expecting old school values in a new school woman? Because that's not how they're wired.
But
And that's a good point that Shannon made, which that's what I was talking about. That's a good point. You can't have the expectation of having old school. You the one who have old school values, or you have traditional values, right? You cannot have the expectation of having a new school, or as we call them, modern day woman behavior. You can't have that expectation, because what's going to happen is that eventually it's going to clash with each other. Or a situation will happen is that, let's say that woman will agree to traditional values, right? But deep down inside of her, it is implanted and it's enrooted for her to have that modern day woman behavior mentality. And guess what's going to happen? The moment when that man do something that's out of her comfort zone, the moment that man do something where it's not transactional for her, guess what? She's going to revert to her old modern day behavior.
they can be. I think that every woman would be grateful for a man to step up and take leadership in the right way. The problem is the lack of love, compassion, and the lack of still having a voice in your significant other is the thing that we as men fail at. It's because there is this authoritarian mindset that we also have, that if I'm contributing and leading everything, that I contribute and lead everything.
Right.
But
I'm not fully understanding his point. Let me rewind that back a little bit so I could see what he's talking about. Let me rewind back.
I think that every woman would be grateful for a man to step up and take leadership.
Okay. First of all, he said that he believed that every woman would be grateful for a man to step up and take leadership. I could agree to that, because it's part of the woman biological nature to allow a woman to allow a man to lead. But however, if they are wired and rooted in this feminism type of behavior, then they're not going to do that. They're not going to want the man to take the lead. However, they're going to want to be equal in their leadership, and that's the problem.
In the right way. The problem is the lack of love, compassion, and the lack of still having a voice in your significant other is the thing that we as men fail at. It's because there is this authoritarian mindset that we also have, that if I'm contributing and leading everything, that I contribute and lead everything.
Right.
But there still should be an equal voice and an opinion and view that we must consider, that we must.
And this part right here, while I understand where he's coming from, that it should be, an equal voice, which part of that I do agree with. I don't agree with having this authoritarian mentality that what a man say ultimately goes all the time, because sometimes even in our decision making, even though we're logical in our decision, just because we're logical in our decision, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the overall decision for the situation. Sometimes we'll make logical decisions based on our pride and ego. Let's be real and honest with that, men. We'll make decisions based on our pride and ego. It is what it is. But sometimes the woman will see a different type of ideology or a different type of path that we can take. And so them type of situation right there, that's where a woman is supposed to do. A woman's supposed to give a different perspective or a different outlet to make us, think about it and possibly make us reconsider the overall decision making. Before, you being demanding, you saying, no, this is how it's going to be, and knowing good and well that it's going to be destructive and toxic, then no, I don't agree with that. As a matter of fact, me being as a Sigma male, right, that's one of the main things that I disagree with what alpha male do all the time. Alpha male are notorious for being extremely controlling. Okay? They be so controlling where they end up being narcissists. Okay, so I don't agree with that at all. Period.
acquiesce to at times because there's a wisdom and a knowledge that a woman brings to the table that we benefit from. And so, but a lot of that is our own insecurities, a lot of the ways that we were raised.
What's a good place to take someone on the first date? You know, there's this thing, this viral moment
saw it,
with
I
the
saw it.
Cheesecake Factory.
I saw it.
What's a good
You remember earlier when I said that Kirk Franklin was capping where he said he didn't know what 50-50 is, right? Now, Shannon is addressing about whether would you take a woman out the date, and there was this whole viral moment was talking about the Cheesecake Factory, and he said that he saw it. That whole notion about the Cheesecake Factory was dealing with what? 50-50. That was the whole point about it. So I call bullcrap.
It's just fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
I call bullcrap on that. Kirk, you knew what he was talking about in the beginning.
We were raised.
What's a good place to take someone on the first date? You know, there's this thing, this viral moment with the Cheesecake Factory.
I saw it.
What's a good place to go on a first date, and how much should one spend?
I think the best place to go on a first date is to ask her where she want to go.
Oh no!
He said the best thing that a man can do is ask a woman where she want to go on the first date. Kirk Franklin, my boy. Let's run it back. Lord Jesus.
I think the best place to go on a first date is to ask her where she want to go.
Oh no! No!
Why?
No, sir. No, sir. Don't do it. Now, once again, like I say, I can understand where Kirk Franklin mentality is at talking about this, okay? Because Kirk Franklin don't understand that the dating market has evolved, that it has changed a whole lot. It is not like how it used to be back in his time. See, back in his time, men didn't have no problem with taking, women out on dates, whether it was a expensive day, whatever, because in our mindset, we was doing it for one reason only. We was doing that to try to win that woman over, which they call being chivalrous, okay? Or being a gentleman. Which back in that time, it wasn't no issue behind that. Even the woman back in the time when men was doing that, they appreciated that. Okay, they wasn't using men, they wasn't doing anything like that. But however, in modern day time, in modern day culture, if you want to ask a woman, if you allow a woman to choose where she wants to go out on a date, I guarantee that she's going to choose a place expensive every single time. And the reason why she's going to choose that place is because it's a place that she never been, or it's a place that she don't want to pay for, and she know that she could get a free meal out of that dude. Reason why I know is because I have experienced that a whole lot of times when I was in the dating market. Where these women would choose the most expensive, lavish place possible to get a free meal. So he got to understand that it's changed a lot. No, sir. Nope. But let's rewind it back. Salute to everyone who's tuning in right now.
Good place to go on a first date, and how much should one spend?
I think the best place to go on a first date is to ask her where she want to go.
No, sir. No, sir. Once again, if you ask a woman where she want to go, I guarantee that it's a game over for you. Sure is. This is going to be a straight game over, because she's going to eat your wallet. Guess what else she's going to do? She's going to order. Not only is she going to pick the most expensive place, right? She's going to pick the most expensive thing on the menu. She's going to make sure she's going to get a full 4-course meal out of there. She's going to get advertised. She's going to get the most expensive drink. She's going to do everything possible to milk out that situation. And guess what? Right after that, all she's going to do is tell you thank you for a good time. And that's it. And guess what's going to happen with you? You're going to be looking crazy and disgusted because you spent all that money. So no, sir, don't do it. But let's continue.
Oh no. No.
Why?
Big in, big
Why?
O.
Why?
Because she says, I want to go to this 5-star restaurant where you already know if you just order the water, it's $50.
But what's wrong with her saying that?
Well, what's wrong with me saying no? No.
So, first of all, I'm trying to figure out what's the problem with that.
Ain't no problem. It ain't no problem with her asking. Ain't no problem with me saying no. So now, what's the next question?
See, that once again, that goes with the whole point I was making earlier that Kirk Franklin and him not being out in the dating market. You know what I'm saying? He don't know how things have changed out here. He's thinking about from his personal experience when he was out there dating. But I guarantee that if Kirk Franklin was single again, right, and he were to go out there in the market and he were to experience a younger woman, right, I guarantee that his mindset will immediately change. I guarantee that.
Where can we go?
Why are you saying no?
Because here's the thing.
Okay, give it to me. Why are you saying no?
If I start you here, where do I go after here?
That ain't necessarily true.
It is.
Oh, it ain't.
That's facts too. That is absolutely. Shannon had hit it on the nail on the coffin for real, because that's how the way I perceive it to be. Okay, and I have said this on the show before. There are certain levels to this, okay? When you're out there in the dating market, there are absolutely levels to this. You can't start off automatically high, okay? If you start automatically high as a man and you present this to a woman, guess what? Her expectation is going to automatically going to be high. She's going to have that expectation all the time. Remember when I did that podcast that I was showing you that beta male dude who worked at Google, right? Instead of him just doing simple stuff for her, right? He was up her flying her out of the country. He was paying for her meals, taking her out on this expensive place. And this dude had the audacity to take this woman to his job, set up here flexing his money. When you start off with that high expectation, guess what they're going to do behavior-wise? They're going to have that high expectation resort. So therefore, if you start off high, and if you're in a fumble in the bag, right? Guess what? Guess who they're gonna blame it on? They're gonna blame it on you. Remember the same situation? And I also did a stream on this too. Remember the same situation with the NBA player Joe and his wife, right? I forgot her name. She was telling people on the podcast, right? She was telling people that, hey, Joe already set the expectation for us to be up here. He was the one who set up here buying these expensive houses. We was going all these on these expensive things and stuff, right? And right after his career was over in the NBA, me as a woman, I'm so used to living this life, right? Where that's my expectation. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to continue that type of lifestyle. Hence, she started becoming a IG model. She went, not IG model, she became on OnlyFans. People had pushback on that. I was one of them, but at the same time, I understood where she was coming from because Joe has set that expectation. Hence, if you set that expectation with these type of women, they're going to have that expectation throughout the whole entire relationship. But however, if you set a different bar or a different expectation, right, and you start slowly building towards the right, I guarantee behavior-wise, that woman is going to appreciate it way more. And you're going to appreciate it as a man way more because you're going to see value in a woman. You're going to see at the end of the day, that woman is not out trying to secure a bag with you, but she's genuinely out to, to be with you because of who you are, not because of what she could attain from you. Speak on the salute. Welcome, man. Welcome. And yes, make sure you hit that like button and share as you enter the lounge. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, let's continue.
Man,
Watch it. Man, Pete, man, I got to give you youngsters game. Y'all ain't got no game. Here it is. You can say there easily. Okay.
Kirk said that the youngsters don't got no game.
what?
Kirk. Man. Okay, I ain't gonna sit down. Let's go.
I got to give you youngsters game. Y'all ain't got no game. Here it is. You can say there easily. Okay, baby girl, I'm finna take you to this place you want to, but I'm finna let you know. This place is so mad expensive. I'm doing it because I want to impress you, to let you know that I got you. Hold on, let me finish. I got you, but I ain't gonna be able to do this all the time.
And that's where Kirk Franklin is not understanding. Once again, I made the point that that Kirk Franklin mindset, he haven't been out in the dating market. So he don't understand how the dating market has evolved now. He don't understand it at all, period. See, one of the things that y'all need to understand too, those of y'all who haven't been out in the dating market in a long time, y'all also need to understand this. Modern day dating is not just about trying to find somebody who's suitable for you. It's not just about companionship anymore. The modern day dating market now is transactional. The modern day dating market now is not only transactional, but it's conditional. It's not unconditional how it used to be, but it's conditional now. Meaning that they're trying to do things to get something out of it. That's how the way it is. The modern day women right now, their mentality is this. They try to get something out of the deal. So it would be ridiculous for you as a man to enter into the modern day dating market, dating a modern day woman, and allowing her to get her transaction out of the deal, but you don't get nothing out of return. Oh, but let me guess. What you get out of return is what she's going to tell you. She's going to say this. What you're going to get out of return with me is me. Whenever a woman say that, they are not talking about their character. They're not talking about their moral values. They're not talking about none of that. When they mention that, they are simply talking about that they will give themselves, meaning that they'll give their body to you. That's what they're talking about. But here's what's interesting about that, gentlemen. And I want y'all to understand this. When they say that they give their body, right, do y'all understand that they necessarily do not give their full body to you? Do you not understand that? What do you mean by that, Urban? They do not give their full body to you, meaning that they would give a portion of their body to you out of certain conditions or certain obligation or certain things that need to happen in order for them to do that. You can't just do whatever you want with her body as you see fit. Like say for example, you as a man is a total nympho, right? Meaning that you need to have sex all day, every day, whenever, right? And so that is how the way your body is wired. Your biological body is wired. You want to have it as much as possible. However, don't you know that if you get with a woman who's not wired the same type of way, and you want out of time, guess what she's going to do? She's going to put limitations on when you can get it. Hence, meaning that they're not giving their full body to you. It's limits behind it. I'm gonna also be real about this too. Let's say hypothetically, every woman deals with that time of month, right? Every woman deals with that time of month. Guess what? You want to do something right, and you don't care. Some men don't care about her being on that time of month. Some men will hey, put that towel out. We finna do this thing. But guess what? She will control that and say, no, I'm not going to do it, period. Meaning that even then, she is not giving her full body to you. Once again, what if she just not in the mood because she's mad at you? Guess what? Women control their body, their choice, right? So therefore, she's not giving you her body. It's under certain type of conditions for her to do it. It have to be certain conditions that have to be met. Give you another example. Some women require for men to have foreplay with them before they would even enter into the full course of intercourse, right? But you as a man, you don't want to do all that. You just want to get right to you want to get right to it. But guess what? If you don't follow them type of rules and guidelines that she wants you to do, guess what? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But that's what these type of women would do. They'll say that they want all these different type of transactions from a man, right? I want you to take care of me. I want you to provide me. I want you to protect me. I want financial resources. I want all these different things and stuff, right? And you as a man and are giving that to her, right? Then when you ask in return, well, what are you going to give to me? Oh, my body, which that's a lie. That is cap. That is cap. So you need to understand that it's transactional.
And make a joke out of it, make it light, keep it cool, keep it fun. Because see, let me tell you what wins a woman every time. Make her laugh. Make a joke out of it. Make it light, man.
Make her laugh.
Have you ever seen the ugliest dude with the prettiest chick?
Yeah,
because he keep her laughing.
You know.
No, part of that is true because women do enjoy laughter. They enjoy to do that. The reason why is because behavior-wise, right? Women go through a lot of stressful situations in their life. They be dealing with personal issues and all kind of stuff, right? And so in order to balance their emotions, right, they need to have happiness, okay? And so women equate happiness based on how the way they're feeling, their emotions. And so that's the reason why women want to be happy. They want to laugh and different things like that because they need their emotions to be balanced out. You know what I'm saying? But even if you is a great comedian like Kevin Hart, right? You could be the best comedian in the world, make that woman laugh. But if you're not fulfilling other type of transactional obligations, guess what? She ain't gonna laugh at you. She gonna call you straight corny.
Women love to laugh.
I'm using a bit of a girl, I ain't taking you to that place. Because I ain't got the money. Girl, we finna go down here to Chili's or Applebee's or something. You crazy. But that's the thing though, Kirk, you know. It's kind of like,
that don't mean that. That don't mean that she gonna want that every time. It don't.
We not.
But that's another part that he's not understanding. See, here's another thing too, and this also where modern day women is not understanding from, where the late Kevin Samuels was talking about. Okay, where he was talking about average as best. Okay, the late Kevin Samuels was where he was mentioning about average as best. He was talking about these type of women feel like that they entitled to men who are up in the 10%, 5%, and 1%. That's what he was talking about. These type of women, which is a lot of women who have this type of behavior mentality. And so what he was doing, he was literally dumbing them down, putting them down to let them understand that you don't qualify that type of man. Even if you do work your way up to there's certain type of transactional obligations that you must meet in order to keep that dude, in order for you to stay up there. Because them type of dudes, they know that since they up in the 10, the 5, and the 1%, they know that they could get any woman at any given time. They could procreate with any woman at any given time as they see fit because they have control of that. But when you're an average woman, right, you're not entitled to that. You don't qualify for that, period. You don't qualify for that. So since you don't qualify for that, why not go for normal average men? But think about it is that these type of women with this type of behavior mindset, they feel that these type of men who are just average, right, that's not good enough for them. That's how the way they feel. They feel that they're not good enough. And so once again, these type of women, they want to have this unrealistic expectation of making these average dudes be part of the 10, the 5, or the 1%. What if that dude don't want to be part of the 10 to 5 or 1%? What if that dude is totally comfortable with being part of an average percentage, being a blue collar worker, being a white collar worker? What if he's happy in that space? What if he's happy living a simple life where he don't have to have no big house with no name brand car, living in a luxurious neighborhood? What if he don't want that? What if he just want to live a simple life where he's living, beyond where he's living within his means? What if he want that? But guess what? Different women, especially modern day women, they want that type of high lifestyle. And just like I pointed out in my other podcasts and stuff too, these type of women, they want it all. They want you to pay for an expensive house, and knowing good well you can't afford to pay for the house. They want to pay for an expensive house, pay for an expensive car, go to an expensive neighborhood and stuff, right? And even if you do all that, and you become in debt, right, that's still not good enough for them. They literally want this dude to work super hard. I want you to work hard so you can be part of the 10%, the 5%, and 1%. When that's unrealistic at all. But let's continue.
Wired like that. Once you get established at a level. Now, if you'd have got let's just say for the sake of argument, in 1993, your first car is a Rolls Royce. You're not going back down. You're not lowering that, going down from that. You're moving up.
But what I'm saying, first of all, I'm not Stephen A. And so I'm only gonna give you so much. I'm saying to you that
now you on the couch.
I'm saying to you that there is a way for there to be both things can happen at the same time.
Okay.
That it don't have to be black and white this way, black and white that way. And then first of all, let me also say this. Is I think that if you are taking a girl out and a girl is going out with a guy, that there's not even a relationship to be able to laugh and play with it, even in the process, y'all ain't the ones for each other anyway, because the best relationship that's going to make it are the ones that are friends.
Oh, okay.
Once again, I understand where Kirk is coming from, and I can't really disagree with it. But once again, my point again is that when you're thinking about it from a modern day perspective, right? All of that sounds good, but once again, that is not going to be good enough. That type of mentality and mindset is not going to be good. The only exception to that rule is that if you actually find a woman, you literally take, and I said this too, to the men, that you take the proper time and vet out the woman. You vet out that woman to see where her behavior or mindset is at. I said that when you vet out a woman, you're not going to vet out her characteristics, because her characteristics can change. She could be one way and be another way. But however, if you go beyond that and vet out the actual behavioral mindset of a woman, that you will know exactly where she stands. You vet out her behavior, you vet out her moral compass and everything, then you find out the truth about that woman. So once again, it is what it is.
So what's the first question? So what's the first question I should ask on a date then?
Do you want to be the homie? Do you want to have fun? You want somebody that's got your back, laugh, have a good time? What you want to do? Let's walk in the park and start asking. But the problem is men, we're so enamored by the physical nature of a woman that we don't even start asking nothing else. We're just looking at the booty. We're looking at the breast. We're looking at her neck. We're looking at her feet. We're looking at her.
No, I ain't looking at no feet. Now ain't nobody looking at no feet.
You don't looking at feet? I'm looking at feet. I'm looking at feet.
So let me ask.
He said he looking at feet. I remember back in the day that used to be a big thing about men. I don't know if y'all women remember this unless you part of my generation. But yeah, looking at feet was a huge thing. The reason why is because if we see a woman with pretty feet, that equate to us that woman is well kept. She know how to really take care of herself. That's one of the main reasons why, you know, they was looking at women with pretty feet. If she have her feet, you know, well maintained, she go and get a manicure and a pedicure and all the stuff there. She do that all the time. And it does look good that she be wearing them heels, whatever and stuff. That equate to us that she know how to take care of herself. Then they also equate to us back in the time that not only she know how to take care of herself, but she know how to you know, take care of the household as well too. But in modern day culture, dudes is not looking at feet no more because that's not a driving factor anymore, because we understand now in this modern day culture that women could be chameleons. Like I stated earlier, you know, women can have a certain characteristics, and characteristics could change, but however, behavior cannot change unless they choose for that behavior to change, which in most cases they're not. Because like I also stated, is that a lot of modern day women, they don't want to take accountability for a lot of situations. Okay. But I want to rewind this back just a little bit.
Do you want to be the homie? Do you want to have fun? You want somebody that's got your back, laugh, have a good time? What you want to do?
Now, this part right here, the reason why I rewinded back to this part is because he was asking the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to be the homie? Do you want to have fun or different things like that? See, once again, that type of open-ended question would be good for back in the day. But in modern day women, the moment when you ask a modern day woman, hey, what you want to do? You want to be a homie? Guess what that modern day woman going to do? She's going to automatically assume that A, you either want to be friends with benefits, or B, you just want to be a friend, and therefore she's going to put you in the friend zone. That's exactly how they're going to equate that to.
So let's walk in the park and start asking. But the problem is men, we're so enamored by the physical nature of a woman that we don't even start asking nothing else. We're just looking at the booty. We're looking at the breast. We're looking at
Now, in this part too, he was separate saying that, well, we're so caught up with the physical. Once again, back in the day, yes. But in modern day time, men is not thinking like that anymore, because we have so many experience in the dating market where we dealt with these women. Now we're not even looking at the physical anymore. We're looking at what we can get out of this woman, because at the end of the day, women are looking at us the same type way. They're looking at what value that we could bring to them. Okay. So now it ain't just about the physical anymore. Okay. Now the only exception to that rule is that we as average people, right? Average both men and women, right? We tend to look at the 10%, the 5%, and the 1% of people, right? Which is, you know, celebrities and different things like that, right? Celebrities, these video vixens and different things like that. We tend to look at that as that being the social norm. Okay. Meaning that we look at that and we think that that's the reality how the way it's supposed to be. But at the end of the day, that is not true. When you deal with this, normal average people doesn't do what these type of people be doing. Okay. But we tend to try to formulate that and incorporate that into our everyday life, into our average life. Hence, that's the reason why you see these average as best women sit up here be talking down on average men. Hence, that's where you be saying some of the men who are just as average, right, be trying to go after these women who are, you know, trying to make themselves be part of the 10 to 5 and 1%, right, and get upset when they curve them. But let's continue.
Neck. We're looking at her feet. We're looking at her.
Nah, I ain't looking at no feet. Nah, ain't nobody looking at no feet.
You're looking at feet? I'm looking at feet. I'm looking at feet.
So let me ask you a question, because here's a question. Dating to get married. So do you go on a date to get married, or what do you? Because I
don't believe in that as much as I know that a lot of Christians push that narrative. I don't believe that marriage has to be the sum total of a person's existence. I don't believe that.
That seems to be the overwhelming
Yeah,
thing now. Though.
and I think it's unfortunate. It's because, first of all, by sheer numbers, there's going to be many, many beautiful women that will never get married just on the sheer numbers. There's more women than men.
Right.
So if we make humans feel like that your sum total of purpose and existence is in the space of a marriage, then we fail all of the beautiful people that will be single, that are single,
Right.
that God can't use them, that there's no purpose for their life, and that there's no plan, and that they can't live fulfilled lives.
Right.
So what y'all think about that? Especially Christian-owned women. How y'all feel about Kirk Franklin's stance on this? How y'all feel about this? Do y'all agree with his stance on this? That it's not meant for women to be married. It's not meant for every woman to be married. Do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree with his point about this? Because as a man who is logical, right, I agree with him on this. I agree that your whole purpose and existence of life isn't what we call the American dream. The American dream is simply as this: is that you're supposed to go out, you're supposed to get an education. Once you get educated or indoctrinated, right? Once you get educated or indoctrinated, you go out into the workforce. Then while you're out in the workforce, you're not meeting a person who's suitable for your own lifestyle or situation, right? You get married to that person, you go out, y'all purchase a home together, you purchase a car together, then you're up on procreate and having children, then that's it, and you die. That's the whole point about the American dream. Now, the thing about it is this: is that the whole point about marriage, to be honest with y'all, is a made up system. And I'll be 100% real with y'all. It is a made up system. Say that again. Marriage is a made up system. Especially what we call monogamous marriages. It is a made up system. The whole point about marriage is for one purpose only. It is for business and marketing purposes. And I want y'all to think about this. Why is it that when you want to talk about marriages, right? When we talk about marriages, why is it that they have a system of advertisement where they advertise the ideology about love, right? February is going to come around, right? February means Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, that's when our advertisers advertise the whole point about love. They give you this whole ideology about this is how the way love should be. They say that love should be about giving. That you should give these different type of gifts. One of the biggest thing that they advertise, right, is about giving flowers, giving chocolates, giving cards. They'll advertise by going to, high spending restaurants. But one of the biggest things that they advertise is about what? Engagement and marriage. They advertise about the wedding ring, the engagement ring. They advertise about the wedding. When you you're going through the process of being engaged, guess what they do? They purposely target the women, right? Because they know that women are emotional. So they paint this whole storyline, this whole fairy tale story about how a wedding should be. They'll paint this whole story that you should have all these luxurious things for this ideal false wedding. They'll say that you should have a chariot, that you should have a horse and carriage. They'll say that you should be dressed up. They'll say that you should invite as many people as possible, regardless if you have a relationship to them or not. They say that you should pay for catering. They say that you should pay for a ceremony. They say you should pay for a reception. And when you do this, it's based on your price. The average person, I researched this, the normal average person will spend up to between $10,000 to $15,000 on their wedding. And that's the average person who's normal, who's average, who's within the average range. Now, a person who's above average or higher, guess how much they'll spend on the wedding alone? They will spend almost $1 million on a wedding alone. And the reason why they do that is because of advertising and marketing purposes. And the reason why they're doing the advertising and marketing purposes for one reason only, is deal with social economics. Because they know that if they could want to tap into emotions, especially emotional women, if they could tap into their emotions about the whole false ideology of how the way love should be, guess what? Women are going to manipulate and control that narrative. Hence, they're going to manipulate and control the man to have all these unreasonable expectations about love and about marriage. And this is the reason why I said that love is nothing but a programming mechanism. This is the reason why I say that marriage is nothing but a programming mechanism. It is false. When you look at back in the day, how the way marriages really was, right? There was no prenups. There was no signing contracts. The only thing that existed was a word of mouth. That's it. All a man had to do with a woman is say, hey, you are my wife. And that was it. That was the end of it. If that man was at a higher status, right, a higher social economic status, right, that man would go up to that woman's parents, right, father and mother. He would present a business proposal, right? He'll present a business proposal to the parents, stating his intentions with their daughter. Hey, I see your daughter. I want to make something happen with your daughter. I want your daughter to be part of my life. What is going to be the price that I have to pay to have to attain businessship with your daughter? That's why they call it a proposal. It didn't have nothing to do with getting down on one knee as we do in the modern day time. And then when they do that, right, it was by word of mouth. It was no contracts they signed or nothing like that. It was strictly by word of mouth. But even prior before that, it was still just word of mouth. I want to be with you, you want to be with me, and we just exist together. That's how the way it was back in the day. But this modern day notion about marriage, nope. And that ain't what it is at all. It is a false sense of reality. That's why, just like I say, that's why they constantly, every single day, they advertise a false sense of what love should be. And then women being emotional, especially modern day women being emotional about it, they try to project this into their relationships, to have these unrealistic expectations. And hence, this is the reason why that these type of relationships and or marriages don't work. This is the reason why that women holds the record of having the most divorce in relationships in America, is because of this. But let's continue.
So you can be able to date and still put parameters on if you want to be active or not, how much you want to give of yourself. So you can be able to still enjoy beautiful relationships. And it doesn't mean that you got to be walking out of your mind, marriage. Right. It's because not getting married is not a sin.
Oh, okay.
It ain't a sin.
Right.
And so we got to stop making everything black and white. Marriage is not on the same level as salvation. It ain't. And so you got to be able to have friends with people, and you can be able to establish the boundaries of what the friendship needs to look like, how far it needs to go before it crosses over. And if something beautiful turns out of that turns into a marriage, it's a beautiful thing. Right.
Yeah, once again, I agree with him on this point. And there's another thing too, is that some women out there, they be pushing this, they'll sit here push this narrative to the younger women, right? They'll say that when they, as we call hitting the wall, right? Normally hitting the wall means that you're in your 30s and higher and you're not married yet. They'll sit up here push this false narrative saying that it got to be something wrong with you. No, it ain't nothing necessarily wrong with you. It is that some people is not built for marriage. And we need to stop doing that, especially women. Need to stop doing that to each other. Pushing this on narrative that they got to be just like you, when people are not built for that. I also believe that, once again, I also believe that both men and women, there's some men and women who are not meant to be married, period. But they get married for all the wrong reasons. They probably get married because of traditional values, because they don't want to, as Christian people call, play house, or what Christian people call shacking. They'll get married because of that reason. They'll get married because they had a kid together, and just because you had a kid together, that doesn't equate to you that you got to just get married because you don't want to have a kid out of wedlock, you know. Then you're not getting married and both y'all toxic as hell. No. That is not a requirement. That is not a requirement for fulfillment of your life purpose to be married. But however, I am going to say this. Your main life purpose for both men and women is this. If you don't understand it, your main life purpose is for you to procreate to the best of your ability. That is your purpose, because if it wasn't so, then you wouldn't have the ability to procreate, which there's a small percentage of both men and women who are unable to procreate. But normally that is your purpose, is to procreate some type of way. The other part of your purpose is to fulfill your life obligations to the best ability possible, meaning that you live your life how the way you want to live your life to the best of your ability. Wherever choices and decisions that you make, it is totally up to you. But you live it to the best of your ability. That is the whole purpose of life, living, which is, first of all, to procreate. And also the second part is just simply to live your life. Now, if you want people to be part of your life for it's like marriage, that is your choice. If you don't want people part of your life, that is your choice. There's nothing wrong with that. And Christian people need to get off their high horse about that. Oh, it's something wrong with you. You need to get married, blah, 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 whatever.
Marriage can be a beautiful thing, but it's not the sum total of a person's existence.
But let me ask you a question. This open marriage. Can a marriage survive with openness?
That's a good question. Let's hear what Kirk had to say about this one.
I don't know why a person would want to be married then. Just don't be married.
Yeah.
Just don't be married. Just be other. Be something other. And you know, like I said, I think that the social constructs we form, it's almost like our generation, Shan. If you are a 30-year-old woman, even to this now, if you are a 30-year-old woman still single and you go to the family reunion, all the old ladies are gonna pressure you.
Girl, why you ain't married?
But before they get to the point, I'm gonna rewind it back. But I think Kirk Franklin misunderstood what Shannon was asking him on this. I think he misunderstood the question. So I'm gonna translate it. Pretty much what Shannon was asking Kirk is this. He was talking about having an open relationship, period. Meaning that you could talk to whoever you want to, have sex with them, have some type of connection with, but at the end of the day, you still come back to that main person. Open relationship. That's what we're talking about. This goes into the notion talking about being, it started going into the notion talking about, being in a polyamorous relationship or, whatever. That's what he was asking. He was asking how he felt about that. Now, part of it, Kirk, he was saying like, well, if you're doing that, then you just don't need to be in a relationship, period. Which that response, he said, I can agree with that because I done said that before. Like, look, at the end of the day, why would you want to be in a relationship and also sign a contract to be married, knowing good and well that you're not built to be married anyway? Why would you want to do that when you don't have to do that? All you have to do is be open. Just date and talk to who you want to talk to. It's way better. And also, one other thing too is that if there's something that you want to do, right, you have to be open enough to say that right off the bat, and that woman have to understand that. Because I have talked to people, especially men, who literally told women that, hey, I do not want to be in a relationship with you, but I'm all for the ideal of us having fun and, you know, having sex and, you know, doing things like that, spending time with each other, but you're not going to be my main person. Guess what? That woman at first will agree to them terms, right? But in her mind, she thinking that, hey, I could go and change this dude. I can make this dude be with me and honor me. And then they start going through that process of trying to do that. But when that dude don't comply, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get upset. They're going to get mad. They're going to talk down on the dude. But however, whose fault was that? It wasn't the dude, because he said that right off the bat, hey, I'm not for this. Don't even try it. Don't try to pressure me to do it, nothing like that. So whose fault is that? Is it his fault? When he go out and talk to other women, then let's say, you know, she's doing a TikTok viral talking about, oh my God, he cheated on me. No, he didn't cheat on you. He was open with you the whole entire time. You equated to cheating now for the simple fact that you thought you could want to control that dude. But let's continue.
Yeah.
Just don't be married. Just be other. Be something other. And you know, like I said, I think that the social constructs it's almost like our generation, Shan. If you are a 30-year-old woman, even to this now, if you are a 30-year-old woman still single and you go to a family reunion, all the old ladies are gonna pressure you.
Girl, why you ain't married? Where your man?
So salute to everybody who's tuning in, by the way. Salute. Everybody coming in. Appreciate you watching the stream. Make sure you hit that like button while you come in as well, too. Thank you so much.
And where your home?
All of these social constructs that we put the pressure on people for things that they may not be ready for.
Right.
And that does not make them wrong.
Right.
That just makes them not you.
Right.
And that's a good point, too. I agree with him on that. That does make them not you. And we like to do that sometimes too. We like to equate our moral compass with other people's moral compass. You know what I'm saying? Then what we do is that we become judgmental. We think that our moral compass is better than another person's moral compass. Especially people who are part of faith-based belief systems. People who are part of faith-based belief system is notorious for being extremely judgmental. They feel like just because they have this super high spiritual connection with God or the Most High God or whatever, and they doing these different things, like say, for example, people feel like since they're following the law of Moses and different things like that, that they're better than everyone else, when that is not true. That's not true at all. Everybody have different belief system or a different moral compass. I believe that we need to respect each other, even though if you don't agree with each other moral compass or faith-based beliefs or whatever the case may be, you still should at least attempt to respect it without being judgmental, without trying to compare and contrast. Because when you put yourself in that situation trying to compare and contrast, it is always going to end toxic every single time. Every single time. But let's continue.
I had Steve on the show, and he said, blending families are hard. Extremely hard. Now, it might look good on a postcard, and everybody might paint a rosy picture, but it's not easy.
I'm very curious to see what Kirk Franklin got to say about this one. Go ahead.
Your situation, I think you have a stepdaughter.
No, I don't have a stepdaughter. I have a daughter.
You have a daughter.
I have a daughter.
She addressed you as such, and you.
Hell yes, that's my daughter.
Wow.
And I put hands on anybody to say something. That's my daughter. I fought for her. That's my daughter. She legally.
No, you literally fought. You went and you like,
Yeah,
hey, bro,
no.
you sign these papers because that's gonna be my child.
That's what I did.
So, Kirk Franklin is saying that as far as his belief about blended families, what he ended up doing was that he ended up legally adopting his daughter. He ended up legally adopting that. Now, I have a different perspective about this, okay? Do I find that it's wrong for him to legally adopt his daughter? Not necessarily. I don't find necessarily wrong with that. Do I find that commendable that he does that? No, I don't. I don't at all. Because the reason why is this, once again, we got to understand about the whole point about, once again, the dating market, all right? Because at the end of the day, we all are in the dating market, we're trying to see what would be the best price or best deal when you're dealing with relationships, right? Kirk Franklin had to go through a legal process of attaining the identity of his daughter so she could legally be his. I don't know if y'all have researched this or not, but I have. And not only that, I have talked to people who dealt with the situation. It is very, very, very expensive, very, very expensive legally to not only adopt a one person or adopt a child. Not only it is very expensive, but it is very time consuming. It takes a lot for that to happen, a whole lot. That's one part of it. Another part is this. What if that child right father is still in the picture? Once again, what if that child father is still in the picture? Her biological father is still in the picture. And I want y'all to think about this real hard. She has a biological father. Now, regardless if he's there or an absent parent, that should be considered. But at the end of the day, is that is her biological father. Meaning that he the one who took the time out to lay with her mother, right? He took the time out to lay with her mother. He took the time to plant his seed in her mother. He took the time out to watch the daughter be conceived or the child be conceived. Not Kirk Franklin. He did. So once again, I want y'all to think about this logically, all right? Would it be in the best, not only for the best interest for the child, but would it be the best interest for a man to legally adopt a child that doesn't belong to him? To be honest with y'all, at the end of the day, I say no. I say that, to be honest with you, it's a waste of time. I said, to be honest with you, it's a waste of not only time, but it's a waste of your resources. And I'll say the only reason why a man would do that is for one purpose, and that deals with his pride and ego. That's what I'll say. Another thing I want y'all to consider is this. What is wrong with a child? Let's say that his daughter, right? Well, his stepdaughter, right? What is wrong with the stepdaughter simply acknowledging him as her dad or her father without the legal part about that? What is wrong with that? Why is that not good enough? Here's another thing. What is wrong in a different situation? What is wrong with his daughter acknowledging him as a stepfather? What's wrong with that? Well, why you as a man can't accept that? What's wrong with that? I'm gonna answer this to y'all. The reason why there's something wrong with that is because of men, pride, and ego. And it's the whole point that some men, especially alpha males, they so much want to be the authoritarian. They so much want to be in control of everything, right? That they have to put a stamp on everything instead of accepting it for the reality of what it is. Right now, I'm married. Right now, I'm in what is considered as a blended family. Do you know that my stepchildren, right? They don't necessarily call me dad, father, or anything like that. Not because they don't respect me as such, because they do. Because their actions show that they respect me as a father figure. But however, they don't refer to me as that. And guess what? It is okay to me. It is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The reason why is because I don't have pride and ego. Because I know that at the end of the day, action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than trying to enforce legal actions or legal obligations. I understand that. And there are a lot of men out there who also understand it just like I understand it. So therefore, you don't have to do all that extra stuff. The only reason why you do that extra stuff is, once again, because it's dealing with your ego. So be real about it. Deal with your ego. Because also, here's another situation. Let's say that things didn't work out between, Kirk Franklin and the child's mother, right? But this fool here went and adopted her, right? And she's now legally your child. And things didn't work out, you get divorced. Guess what she's going to do? She's going to put your butt on child support. And guess what? You're going to be legally entitled to pay that child support because that child is now legally your child. So that's why I'm saying that, to be honest, a simple word of mouth would have sufficed in that situation. And let's talk about the blended family thing too. And we almost dumped this video too, but let's talk about the blended family thing too. You know what? I'm gonna wait on that. I'm holding. I'm gonna let Kirk Franklin finally finish his final point. Then I'm gonna want to talk to you about the whole blended family thing as a whole.
That's my daughter. I fought for her. That's my daughter. She legally.
No, you literally fought. You went and you like, hey, bro,
no.
you decided these papers because that's gonna be my child.
That's what I did. That's what I did. I pulled up. 26 years old. I pulled up. That's my baby. That is my baby. That is my little sandy head baby. She's 34 years old now and still my baby. Still my baby. She has an incredible husband, incredible, I'm a granddaddy, but that's my baby. I legally changed her name. I adopted her. That is my daughter. There's no step. Carry on. Tammy is a mama to carry on. Tammy is an incredible mama to carry on. Oh, man, Tammy's an angel of a mama. Girl, let me tell you something. Ain't no better mama on the planet. Tammy Franklin. Ooh.
All right, so that's the end of that. And once again, he really didn't go into the whole point about talking about his perspective about blended families. But I'm going to give you my point of view about the whole point about blended families, okay? Now, Shannon started off by saying that blended families are difficult. Do I agree with that blended families are difficult? Yes, I agree with that. Blended families can be difficult, but there's a but to that. The only reason why it can be difficult is based on the number one factor, and that's based on people, moral compasses, and based on how the way they've been brought up. It's the one reason why. When you become a blended family, right? Not only you're paired together with a certain man and a certain woman, but you also assuming the responsibility where you're allegedly assuming the responsibility of the children. Let's say that the man have children coming into a relationship, the woman have children coming to a relationship, y'all bring that in together. Now, the problems that you will have that you will run into this is that. The main problems that you will run into this is dealing with parenting, okay? This man is parenting his children a certain way. This woman is parenting her children a certain way. And so when you come in together, right, you be thinking that both of y'all parenting styles are the same, but in reality it's not, it's different. And that's based on not only your moral compass, not only your worldview, but it's also based on your upbringing. And so what tends to happen is that the type of parenting skills end up clashing together, okay? When they clash together, it could create a toxic situation, undoubtedly. But through my experience, right, what needs to happen is this. What needs to happen is effective communication, period. And that effective communication had to stay in a continual basis every single time, every single moment. Because what's happening is that these children, especially if you have, both of y'all have younger children, these younger children are going to grow, they're going to develop, they're going to mature in different ways. So you have to adapt to the situation of these children. So effective communication is very important. And so not only effective communication is very important, but also trust is very important as well too. Now, some people believe in having an authoritarian mentality in relationships. It could possibly work, but the only thing about it is that you have to communicate. You have to communicate. Once again, you have to communicate your intentions. You have to let that parent know, what are you doing? Because if you don't communicate that, it would be a misinterpretation, then situations will happen. One of the biggest things that I suggest to people who are entering into blended families, right, is this. I honestly suggest that they enter into a blended family. I honestly suggest that they have counseling. I suggest that they have counseling. Because there are a lot of different skills that marriage counselors and, different things like that will provide to you that people don't even know about that exists. Because there's, like I say, we tend to enter into this relationship that's based on our own ideology, or based on our own worldview, our own moral compass, and think that it is a requirement that it got to work that way. Instead of understanding that you have to communicate effectively and you have to make adjustments as you go. That's what you got to do. But yeah, I honestly recommend that. And another one problem too that I want to tell y'all is that, remember when I was saying earlier about Kirk Franklin and his daughter, and I was talking about her father, right? Her actual biological father. Let's say in the situation that both parents, biological father or biological mother is existing right now. Meaning that they already have a co-parenting relationship with their parent, right? So there are certain type of obligations or parameters already set, right? So when you bring that family together, you have to communicate that. You have to communicate that. Another thing too is that not only you have to communicate that, you have to trust and respect it too. Now, if there are certain situations that are going on with that other parent, right, you have to trust your wife or your husband with that situation. You cannot intervene into that situation. You cannot sit up here and try to control that situation, because if you do that, trust me, it's going to become toxic. So you have to trust them and their decision making in that situation. Another thing too is this, and this is what creates another toxic situation. Sometimes when you're co-parenting, right? Sometimes situations will happen where they just won't agree. They won't see eye to eye. And guess what they do? Instead of them communicating with each other, guess what they do? They'll communicate that to their husband or to their wife. Talking about their situation. Oh, such and such did this and that and that. Oh, such and such did that and that. And guess what you do? When you do that, guess what you do? You're giving either your husband or wife that entitlement, saying that they're entitled to give their perspective, and not only give their perspective about it, but to literally control the narrative. To me, you shouldn't do that in a blended family relationship. You shouldn't say anything. The only thing that's happening, whatever situation that's happening with your co-parent, whatever, is between you and that co-parent, you and your co-parent alone. Not you and your husband, not you and your wife. If you just want to just talk about it and vent to them, by all means, you could do that. You can vent to your husband and wife, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't be asking them for advice how to handle a situation, because that is, at the end of the day, it is not their business. If they're active co-parents, it is not their business. Because what they're going to do, they're going to give you advice based on their perspective, based on their reverend, and sometimes their advice is not necessarily the best course of action in a situation. Because sometimes they'll give you advice because they just don't like that person, because they feel like that since that person is still tethered to you. Sometimes both that man and that woman, right, or that husband and wife, they think because since that person is tethered, they're thinking that person still have feelings for you. And so now in their mind, they feel like that they're competing, which in some cases it could be true, but in other cases, it's not true. So you have to consider all these parameters, okay, when dealing with blended families. So that's why I say that whenever you're dealing with blended families, to be honest with you, if you don't have that skill set of, being going through like family counseling and stuff, right, and get that sort of skills that therapists would give you to handle that situation, then by all means, I would highly recommend that you do that. Because if not, if you go through your own understanding and try to deal with it your own way, it's going to create a toxic situation in that relationship, and our marriage is not going to last. It's not going to survive. It's going to fall apart. And this is based on not only my professional experience behind this, but through my personal experience of dealing with this and stuff too, to be honest with you. So that's how the way it should be with blended families. But other than that, y'all, that's pretty much it for this particular podcast episode. So y'all let me know, do you agree with my perspective with this situation? Do you agree with Shannon perspective? Do you agree with Kirk Franklin perspective? Just let me know in the comments. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know why you agree, why you disagree, and we could just have the conversation, y'all. Other than that, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the episode. Thank everybody who stop by, who tune in, stop by and speak on it. Everybody who was either watching in the bushes, and everybody who's going to catch the replay of this podcast as well too. Thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all hit that like button as well too. Make sure y'all have y'all notifications set. But for some weird odd reason, YouTube is doing some weird stuff right now with the notifications. So it just is what it is. All right. So other than that, y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all again on the next podcast episode. Peace out.